We're live. Hey everyone. Twitch and OBS were giving us trouble, so we're a little late, but apologies. Hi, welcome to Cloaks of Mindhelm, 5e D&D stream from Penny Dragon Games, about the worst city watch in the worst city in all the land. But hey, we've got the best of the worst city watch, right here with us, so it's all good. Everyone's, we're in luck. So, I'm Ben, and I'm your DM. And just before I get to introductions, just a little bit of housekeeping up top. So, at the moment, if you haven't already checked it out, Penny Dragon Games' latest Kickstarter for Bergen's Book of Beasts is still live. We got 4 days left. And Kyle, do you have? Oh, 3 now. Oh, 3 now since I checked. It's time zones, everybody. It was 4 days when I checked before the stream. So, Kyle, do you have a count
it
in
launched
dollars?
about now.
Oh, it did. Yes, it was about. Yeah. Do you have a count in dollars? The last time I checked, it was like $123,000.
$126,853.
There you go.
So come on, guys, 150,000. We're almost at that stretch goal, and by that I mean not really close, but you never know what happens in 3 days.
Hey, in 3 days, a lot can happen. So, we've got Bergen's Book of Beasts. If you want 200 plus beast stat blocks for druid wild shapes, animal companions, things to kill your players, things to polymorph the big bad into and piss off your DM by turning them into a giraffe. That book's got you covered, as well as lots of beast-themed magic items and subclasses, possibly even an adventure or two. So tons of content in that book, not to mention separate 100-plus page adventure, Firestar Falling, about some eldritch abominations that fall from the sky and mutate beasts and players alike. So lots of good creepy content in there as well. So lots to get your hands on, and check out the Bergen's Book of Beasts Kickstarter if you haven't already, as well as the merch store for our Twitch streams. We got some good stuff up there for all of the streams on our channel. And speaking of which, on Tuesday, DM Jean is back with Fellowship of the Fallen. The preparations have been completed, and the plan is to evacuate the town of Phandalin to Axeholme. Is the party really ready to face Cryovane again, or even attempt to trek up Icespire Peak? So, join them on... Oh, I lost the date. So join them on Tuesday and see what happens. And then on Friday, DM Dave is back with the Sovereign Saga at 7 p.m. GMT, or GMT +1. Having located the home of the Carved Witch, the party are working their way through it, room by room, but she has rolled out the welcome mat for them, and they are their jumpiest yet. Then on Sunday, DM Mark is back with the Violet Madness. You can watch the VOD of the Violet Madness now. The previous episode saw the group come face to face with a coven of hags with the help of a new party member. And also, Shadar learns of past memories creeping back up to the surface of his mind. Will it break him, or will his allies face the horrors that follow in a bid to help him? You can also catch the VOD of the first episode of Vibrance, a mini campaign that DM Mark is also running on Thursdays. The group have unexpectedly landed in the colorless town of Vibrance and have already become acquainted with the ruler, who seems to be stealing life, memories, and personality from the townsfolk within. After completely ignoring the BBEG's threats and warnings, they venture off in a bid to overthrow his tyranny. Players ignoring warnings, whatever next. And last but certainly not least, on next Sunday, next week, we have the Churn Gang, run by DM Richard, returning, and the Churn Gang have found out that the God Thief has been at it for a lot longer than anyone knew, so much so that the current gods stole their places from the previous ones, and in a month, the party will face those truths and plan for the future. And as always, you can catch VODs of the Humblewood campaign, our Cloaks campaign, and all those others on the Penny Dragon Games YouTube channel. If you want to catch up, get up to speed with what's been going on. So, yeah, lots of streams. we've got a lot of stuff happening, so, and just let me check this. Okay, I'm good to go. Now, before we jump into the game itself, I think we're just going to do a little round of introductions for the folks at home. So, in no particular order, Kyle, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you're playing tonight?
So tonight I'm going to be integrating myself into the role of Tram Scribe, a page wizard of the city of Minehelm, who probably should be in jail by now, let's be honest. I mean, he indulges in wild magic far too often, and if it wasn't for his adopted sister, he probably would be. But, he's part of the Cloaks. He does what he likes to do. He's got some secrets he's trying to track down the origins of, and we'll see where that takes him. He's got all these. He's surrounded by all these criminals that are such bad influences on him.
I know they've led you down a dark path that you certainly wouldn't have ended up on your own.
Totally wasn't my fault that half the time things blow up around us.
No. Cool. The wizard is the last person you should suspect when things go.
Yeah,
boom.
Exactly.
Actually, in any other party that would be true, but not in the Cloaks, because the first person you should suspect when things go boom is Nico.
Yeah.
Nico, who are you playing? Oh, Nico, you're muted.
I am Nico, and I'm very much muted. I play Patri. He is a deviously clever, or perhaps cleverly devious elf, alchemist, artificer, with a penchant for getting into trouble. He grew up in a rather prestigious guild with much loved, much respected, and very much dead parents, and built a name for himself as someone who liked to experiment against guild rules with his concoctions, and built quite an affluent client base of people who liked his experiments. Unfortunately, as these things go, more experiments went wrong than right, and so our once beautiful, handsome, smart, tall elf is now this shriveled little scarred, acid-burned, pathetic little excuse of his former self, but he got in trouble too many times, so he's now with the Brown Cloaks to atone for his rule breaking in the guild.
Nice. You heard it here, folks. Patri did a lot of experimenting in college.
Yeah.
With chemical substances, and
made him turn from the high school jock to the meth addict, recovery.
Yeah. And from rule breaker to, Boy Scout, Boyd. Who have we got?
My feelings. What's up, folks? I'm Boyd.
Hey, don't worry, he's my favourite.
And I'll be playing Duro Stonehelm, speaking of favourites. He's a young, naive dwarf who gets uncontrollably agitated when he crawls through dungeons. He's a pugilist, which is a homebrew class made by Benjamin Hoffman. It's awesome. It's sort of like a strength-based monk, more focused on boxing or punching than martial arts. He loves Tales of Old Adventures and is obsessed with them like a nerdy teen loves Spider-Man. Nice. He likes to throw hands, and he swears a lot in a particularly dwarven fashion.
Nice. And actually, just as because I really like the pugilist and everything that Benjamin Hoffman does. At the moment, in like 2 days' time, on the 12th of April, Benjamin Hoffman and some other collaborators are releasing the pugilist, along with like tons of other subclasses and races that they've done in a hardback print-on-demand book on DM's Guild called The Complete Adventurer's Handbook. So keep an eye on that. It'll be out in a few days. If you want to check out the pugilist, you can get it in like a hardback book with a bunch of other cool shit. Speaking of cool shit, Fona.
So hi, I play Andy, who is a young human rogue, and is currently on work release from prison for a little minor B&E that got a little bit out of control, and she got caught and got nicked and got sent to prison, and is currently considering the options as presented by the butchers, she's desperately trying to get out of her pretty jewelry given to her by the cloaks. And one of the options presented by the butchers was to kill some of her comrades for them because they've been causing trouble. And she's weighing up those options. And she has a cat given to her by Nivani before she went on her sabbatical, and called Ember, who is usually hiding in her pocket, but sometimes makes an appearance.
Yep. The butchers being a criminal gang from the Minehelm who, are butchers probably in a literal sense, but more people that owe them money as opposed to, pigs and and cows and things. Not the kind of people you want to cross. Quite a dilemma indeed.
Just before we move on, for everybody in the party, they are asking in chat what your bless status is, so how many blesses you might have, and whether you have HP issues. So you might want to go trolling for blesses,
Oh, who needs? Oh, yes, because with the chat interactions. But I think so. Apparently, it was decided in the. Apparently, it is the policy. I had assumed otherwise, but apparently, we've decided it's the policy of the channel that the blesses do roll over to other sessions. So I think that means I have a bless in the bank.
Oh, no.
So,
oh, no.
Shit, I shouldn't have said that. I've never received a bless. Poor me. Give me blesses to use against the party.
Nightshade is in the conversation. Don't prompt her.
So, for regular viewers, fans of the show, you might notice we have a new player with us, a new permanent party member. So, just last but certainly not least, a quick introduction to the newest face in the Cloaks unfortunate family of misfits.
Hi, I'm Tendai, and I'll be playing Thana, a half-elf high cleric with a bit of a curiosity for all things unconventional and a little bit morbid, but also a bit of a happy-go-lucky sort of person. So we'll see how that one goes.
Awesome. Yeah. Creepy and happy.
Yeah.
So
perfect addition to the group.
So that is this is the state of the party. And have I got this all set up? I believe I do. So I am just going to move all of you. Oh, just before I move, and I'll move now. So where last we left our heroes, they had been sent on a mission by their commanding officers to investigate a gang of brigands calling themselves the Fearless Fellows, who had been terrorizing Camp Carbuncle, as it is rather impolitely named, basically a refugee camp outside of the walls of Minehelm, sort of, clinging to the walls. People that have come to the city but maybe couldn't afford the exorbitant taxes to get into the city gates. Just very poor, downtrodden people, and had been, victimized by these brigands. They had been hassling them, also, sort of extorting them for protection money, and also trying to recruit some other desperate people. So you were sent to investigate what was going on, see if you could clear them out. In the process, you encountered a group of them who sort of stumbled drunken into the camp. There was a fight in the mud and the rain. You managed to get the upper hand. You beat them, killed them all, of course. And afterwards, you were sort of celebrated in the camp. These people shared what little they had with you, and a meager but meaningful feast was had, and rest and good times. And you also met a woman named Meg, a human woman, and people were calling, they'd say they call her a bog witch, she said. And you had heard that the Fearless Fellows are apparently headquartered in these abandoned, supposedly cursed ruins in the marshes. But nobody knows exactly where those ruins are, and it's very difficult to get to. But Meg said that she found one of these brigands washed up, dead, in her swamp, out by her house, and he had a map on him which led to the ruins. But she was at the refugee camp because her home had recently been invaded by a bunch of bullywugs, frog and toad people, some unwelcome guests, and so she couldn't fight all of them off. Of course, she had come here, but she says, if you go into the swamp, clear out these interlopers. Obviously, you can. If you find the map, it's all yours, and it's a place to rest, maybe for the night in the dangerous swamps. And hey, if you make it back alive, then I'll know that my cottage is all cleared out and I can move back in. And so that's exactly what you did. You made it to a cottage in the swamp. There was a pretty pitched battle with the Bullywug clan, but you bested them, killed most of them, and the weaker members, seeing their chieftain or their royal, their king, whatever, fallen, fled deeper into the swamp. And that's basically where we left it. Now, also, if people are wondering, who that is. Oh no, is it Shift? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, Shift. There is also a sort of Irish wolfhound type dog that has tagged along since the camp. So, yeah, you left just sort of after the battle.
Jump in there and be like, I never understood Scanlan's hate of Trinket until now.
So yeah, until you've just finished this fight. Pretty much you've taken a second to catch your breath. That's what you've been doing. But Thana, you were making your way to Meg's cottage. And you've been out foraging, and so if it should ping there, you have come across these people. They look, roughed up and bloodied. You can see, there is blood about. They're not visible tokens, but there are, I think there were one or two bullywugs that were slain up here, where Pouches and Patria are. So I think you should be able to see a couple
bullywug blood stains and bits.
Yeah, and there should be a couple of bullywug bodies. So clearly there has been an altercation. But this is the scene that you find. I will leave it up to you as to whether you approach immediately or if you're sort of waiting and scoping out this gang for a little while.
I'll definitely kind of skulk around in the shadows a little bit, having a look-see.
Could you just give me a stealth check, please?
Sure thing.
Mm-hmm. Just want to see. Okay, yeah, so is anyone's Patrie or Pouches, is your passive perception higher than 15?
Just on Pouches, because it might affect him. I don't know if it will, but I think there's a very angry Andy muttering and heading his way.
Oh, yeah.
Quite clearly going to try and deck him or something. So that might be distracting Pouches just a little bit.
Sure.
12, and yes, that would definitely be distracting Pouches.
Yeah.
Pouches is just going to kick this ladder away.
She's already on her way up the ladder, so too late, my friend.
So, Andy is coming up the ladder, menacingly.
One booted.
Yeah. What's Andy's passive?
14. But much like Pouches, her attack focus right now is on getting closer to Pouches before he does some weird magic crap and manages to spirit himself away.
Yeah. But Thana is hidden, in the shrubbery, free to observe you all acting, like lunatics. Yeah, I'm just going to.
Tree's passive is 9, so he's really not paying much attention to anything.
Yep.
I got my
Thani,
ass kicked and I'm mostly just sitting on the floor breathing heavily.
yeah, Thana, you see the dog is like looking in your direction, like roughly, is looking sort of vaguely in your direction and gives just like his nose in the air, gives a couple of sniffs and turns around, doesn't seem to notice you. It's something, he kind of smelt something, but no, he is settled down. He never settles like completely on his haunches. He is not that Thana would know this, but just for your own reference, they rescued the dog from a dog fighting ring in the camp. There was a guy running like boxing matches and cockfighting and dog fighting. Most of the dogs, Petrie let them out of their cages, and in the combat with the brigands, the dogs got out, and on their initiative, most of them attacked the owner and they mauled him to death. But then most of them scattered just out. But this one kind of stuck around and has been clinging to Petrie a little bit, but is kind of wary.
Have we named him?
Dog.
I don't remember. I feel like we might have in the session before last, but I couldn't remember. I never wrote it down. I couldn't remember.
Does chat
He
want
is
to
bald.
volunteer a name for the dog?
Yeah. Good idea.
Be fast, Dave. You can name another animal in this game.
Yeah. So yeah, is anyone else doing just anything in particular at this moment in time?
D.B. Gibson says dog is a good name.
Yeah. I kind of like dog.
So you've called me dog in another language.
What was it?
So we're just hanging out there. We've defeated all of the little frog baddies and we're trying to regroup before going in.
Well,
Yeah.
Andy's trying to smack Pouch's one. Not a thump. She's probably going to do that like smack thing.
I'm gonna like backing away and be like, if you don't hit me, I'll clean the swamp water off your clothes.
Can we take a short rest in the trees before attempting the hut? Or how's everyone shaping up? Because I could use some hit points, and I can also make a fancy tool if we have an hour to get into the house. The right tool for the job.
I wouldn't mind a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, I'd go for a rest.
Still, like backing away from Andy and seeing if she's gonna actually hit me.
Andy's got a hand raised, but she's like thinking about it. And as she kind of says, yeah, I could go with a rest, she'll drop her hand and she'll be like, clean my robes.
Prestidigitation.
And she's going to angrily mutter and wander back to see if she can potentially find her boot.
So no, it's like the cleanest your robes have ever been. Like,
I know, they smell amazing.
So are we short resting, presumably not down here by the water where the giant toads just emerged.
I'm not really.
We're going to be up here at the top.
Because I'm down a 20-foot cliff away from these people, I
Yeah.
suppose. I probably do eventually stand up and maybe have a look through some of the dead bodies.
Sure, yeah. The ones that are just here. Hang on, give me 1 second. Actually, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
We have a vote for Diffa dog. Or dog.
Diffa dog.
Diffa dog.
Is that Diffa dog is one word? I mean, that's one vote. Diffa dog. Yeah, will you give me an investigation check there, Doral?
Good thing. Investigation. Big old 7.
Yeah. I mean, apart from what was, immediately, immediately visible. I mean, they have, this guy, the Gripply warrior that was there, has.
I guess the more important question is, do they have pockets?
No, I mean, yeah, he's got his trident, that he had on him, like a little dagger. He has a short bow, a couple of arrows, hide armor, a shield, but pretty much, and the same with the Croaker shaman. He's got actually, yeah. So, well, I mean, it depends. How are you searching these?
Initially, I'm like, I'll look through their pockets, but then they don't have any, and I just sort of look around the ground.
Yeah. I mean, are you like turning them over?
No, definitely looking from afar. Yeah, I'm not like messing around with dead bodies and shit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So that's good. So, yeah, that's fine. What you're telling me is you don't touch the shaman. You don't touch his skin.
No.
Which was a good decision. Yeah. You don't touch his poisonous skin. And yeah, it's pretty much. And that was evident as well with the Bullywug Royal, the chieftain who was sort of floated away, and he's gotten sort of stuck here. His body floated off to the rock, to the I suppose the cliffside.
Yeah.
But similarly, he had a couple of maybe some pouches tied to his belt, but other than that, he had skulls and adornments. He had his big spear, his royal spear with the kind of this boar spear looking thing.
I
But
shout up to the rest of the group. There's a few weapons down here, and I don't know. Maybe if you want to go for a swim, you can get some stuff on your man over there.
Well, we need to get to the house. We'll just put the ladder across the river when we're gonna go.
Do they have any
I'm
boots?
like on the ground. I'm on the ground, like passed out, and I'm just like one eye open, like answering.
yeah, they do not have boots. But I'd say even if they did, they probably wouldn't fit you. They would be designed for wide, webbed feet.
I assume Andy's perusal of the area kind of round here does not reveal her missing boot.
Okay, give me a perception check. And actually, as Andy is
18.
rooting around for a boot, the Thana, this dog again resumes his sniffing.
This dog named Doggleganger.
Yeah, and starts moving towards you. Edging its way towards you. So Patri and Andy, obviously, you would see the dog moving off, and I don't know if Thana is moving, kind of going into statue mode, or what's Thana's reaction to this dog approaching you.
I'm gonna stand up. And
Not
be
growling
"Dog,
or
where you
anything.
Thana's just gonna see a dog and just kind of start crouch down to seem less intimidating or imposing, and just kind of wait for the dog to come closer so I can pet them.
Yeah, the dog comes close. Would you give me an animal handling check, please?
I feel like the tree will be like, he's fine, you're good boy, calm. From background.
Well, I suppose the question is, did we notice Thana at that point?
Well, Thana had been hidden. I would say both Patri and you will notice the dog is kind of sniffing around. It hasn't gone fully, you can see it looking at something just behind the tree trunk, I assume, Thana is just around the corner, but Patri and Kyle, Patri and Pouches, give me a perception check now, unless Thana decides to step, towards the dog.
Tree for sure would be following his eyes to where the dog is going. Absolutely.
Patri, you see somebody's, boot, but behind the tree that the dog has approached.
Okay.
Somebody.
I don't think Patri sees anything.
for the group to be like, guys, there's something.
Oh no,
I
sorry,
don't know,
pouches.
Patrice, yeah.
Sorry, pouches is 15. I'm sorry, Tree. Pouches, you see there is somebody crouched, just behind the tree and is sort of held, kind of held their hand out to a dog like you kind of do when you're waiting for a dog to come. But the dog is just like sniffing, hasn't moved to embrace or attack the person. They just seem sort of intrigued and sort of neutral at this time.
I'm gonna be a little bit cautious, and I'm gonna like cautiously swing around. And I'm gonna be like, "Who's there?" I'm gonna like call from the middle of the clearing so I can see anyone approaching, and like my hand will be behind my back, and there'll be cold energy coalescing in it as I hold the spell ready.
Okay.
I'm just going to just look up and say, me? And keep trying to get the dog's attention so I can pet him.
You can give me another animal handling check if you want. Now that you have sort of you've spoken and you've sort of changed your speaking and very friendly, but it's kind of animated, and it is a skittish dog, and so it's kind of the loud noise. It doesn't run away, but it kind of just like kind of backs away and kind of braces. It's a raised voice is usually not a good thing. And through no fault of your own, speaking up and raising your hand, it has a sort of a visceral reaction. It does take a 5-foot step back, but it isn't growling. It's not. It's kind of just watching you cautiously. Presumably, Doral and Andy, you would have heard pouches, shout to somebody. Somebody replied.
I'll probably start climbing the ladder.
Yeah, in common. It was somebody replying in common.
Did I find my boot?
I'll respond again and be like, "Me doesn't tell me whether you plan to be a friend or foe in this situation. Come out."
Yeah, just give me 1 second, Andy. Hang on. Oh, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5, 6. Oh, how do I? Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You do find your boot.
I hear a butt coming.
Yeah, it's terrible. Your boot it's out, floating out here. I rolled a d6. It was 6 spaces away from you in the water. Yes. And yeah, so you have seen your boot, and now obviously there is this commotion up here.
Okay. Have we actually short rested yet, or are we?
No.
No. Okay.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. See, I thought I had clicked something on. You should be able to control your token.
Perfect.
No. Sorry, I forgot to edit the setting.
Tusk, Ben. Tusk.
Look, you all know by now I'm
that is a
terribly
one blessing
organized.
penalty.
I'm terribly organized. Look, we know this, The only reason this game ever got set up on Roll20 is because Jean helped me.
It's true, he is a master of Roll20.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know who any of you people are.
Look at Andy and sort of say, "You heard that, right? Come on."
Yeah. Okay. And just more mumbling under her breath that you just can't make out, and she just dejectedly and disgruntledly follows you up the ladder.
Yeah.
Right.
Anna's gonna step out from behind the tree and just kind of stand somewhere where it's super open, so I don't look like a threat or anything, and just reply, "I'm just here to go visit a friend."
Andy's gonna pull her bow.
Yeah. I prepare an eldritch blast, so a piece of rock rips from the ground in front of me and hovers. And
She's gonna take a couple of steps back.
Running away!
what's
No, I
what's
didn't
going on,
actually say
Pipes?
that.
Sorry?
I look over to Pouches and I say, "What's going on?" Kyle's in a world of his own there.
Sorry, I was. I'm gonna say we've got a friend coming out of the trees here. Or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
I can see what he's doing behind his back, and I just sort of move up beside him.
Maybe she's a friend, or maybe she's coming out of the trees. What the hell?
Who exactly is it you're going to see?
I'm going to see
I'll
Meg.
point to where I saw Thana last.
Can we get a description of Sana?
Oh
Sure.
yes, that's really good idea. Yeah, we will have art. We will have official art coming hopefully in a few weeks. But yes, until then, sorry T.
No worries. So Thana would be around 5'8", 5'9", brown skin with dreadlocks and braids, but over their right eye, they've got quite a large patch of vitiligo, and they have random patches all over their body as well. So one of their eyes is brown, and the other eye is grey, especially around the patch. And they have pointed ears, half elf, and they're very warm looking in the face, quite a smiley person, but obviously people are preparing to attack, so they look a bit cautious and quite intimidated.
Is it safe to say that they might be preparing to attack because you have tiny little rat skull earrings?
Yes, they have rat skull jewelry,
Yeah.
and they have all sorts of bones.
But flowers woven into their hair.
Flowers woven to their hair, but they also have bones for jewelry.
Yeah.
So they look a bit odd, to say the least. Like their clothes aren't exactly pristine, but they're fairly clean and a bit tattered, a bit haggy looking.
That's exactly what you want in a swamp.
Did you say Meg? You're here to see Meg?
Yes.
Wait, I look at the others. Wasn't that the name of that bog witch?
Yeah. Meg's not here. And slowly,
yeah.
slowly, with her bow ready to go, Andy's kind of like coming up
Whoa!
behind Durrell.
I put my arm sort of on the point of the arrow, my hand on the point of the arrow. We know Meg. She sent us here. Unfortunately, our house was taken over by bullywugs. We fought them, drove them off, and you've just appeared. Good timing.
Wait, Meg's not here?
Meg's not here.
She's living in Camp Carbuncle, this place outside the walls of Minehell.
Oh.
She couldn't live here anymore because the bullywugs attacked their house.
Oh, I tend to just come visit her around this time every once in a while. And this is the only way we have of communicating, so I had no idea.
Oh.
Oh. And where did you say she was?
She's in a place called Camp Carbuncle. It's near Minehell.
About 20 miles that way.
You would know. It's it's well known in Minehelm, especially obviously among people who might have grown up in circumstances, similar to Thana's. It's on that side of the city. So yeah, you'd know what that implies.
Okay. Thank you for the information. I'll be on my way then.
And Andy's gonna have let her bow droop ever so slightly out of ready position and be like, well, we're going back there soon, so you could probably wait, and then it'll be safer to come with us. And she's deliberately trying to not sound like a police officer saying, come with us. But she's not very good at this human interaction thing, so it probably comes across still quite menacing.
Sana is just going to smile and be like, "Really?"
Alright.
Yes.
Wait, first of all, I want to get into that house and we'll have a little rest in there. How about we
Okay.
talk about it in there?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
I'm Sana, by the way.
cool. I'm Dural. This here's Andy. That's Pouches, who you met.
Empathy!
This-
Yeah, just from over by the cliff, you basically, as Nico had said, you basically see like sort of like creature from Harry Potter, just like and Patri, like very charismatic.
Yes, he is as creepy as he looks.
And
I'll say that out loud, like glancing over at Patri and then like looking back.
Yeah.
not gonna phase me in the slightest. I
Dural,
love
my
it.
Yeah.
Dural is quite a young-looking dwarf in a
Amazing.
vest top and a brown cloak. Simple
Okay.
pants.
Awesome. I will gladly take up that offer. Thank you.
Hopefully, there's no more bullywogs over there.
It's okay. I should be fine. They tend to leave me alone most of the time I'm here.
No, you'll have to
Handy.
keep that trick.
At this point, I've lost interest. I'm gonna be like, "Did you find your shoe?" Like looking at Andy.
No, I didn't find my bloody shoe, and she's gonna just turn around.
You
And
found it. You didn't retrieve.
You lost a shoe?
Same
How the
difference.
hell did you lose a shoe?
She's gonna stow her bow, draw a dagger because she's still not quite sure. She's just stalking off in an uneven gait.
Yeah.
She's got one boot.
I
and
am
one
so
foot.
following this.
Anna is just going to be very confused.
Oh, they knocked
Yeah.
the socks out, Fandy.
Take yours.
It's not the evening time, but the light is starting to fade. You're well past noon. It's getting a little darker. You're hearing more and more crickets and cicadas and little bugs chirping.
I guess first
Can
of
I
all,
walk over to the
any
edge of the cliff
ideas?
here and?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I walk over to the edge of the cliff and see if I can spot Andy's boot?
Sure. Reasonable. Give me a perception check. Just shouldn't be too hard to spot, but obviously it's quite with not knowing kind of where it went. It's
10.
yeah. It's pretty much right in your eye line. It floated a little bit further, but it got again sort of snagged, or it bumped up against this sort of pillar of rock, and is for the time being stuck there.
Cool. Mage hand, and I will go and I'll pull it out of the river.
Oh,
Mm.
Mm.
nice.
Is it upright currently, or
Uh,
is it?
I'll pour it out.
Yeah, just
Wait, did
a
anyone
little frog
swim?
comes out.
Andy, did you hit the water? Or are you currently wet?
No, I got prestidigitated by Pouches.
Right. Yeah, you got cleaned and dried.
Um,
You went through
okay.
the.
just
I
one
roll
second.
smell better than they've ever smelled before. At the moment. Though you wouldn't know it from my general like sitting down near where I assume we're going to get across, and looking very disgruntled as I sit there.
I saunter up and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry about the boot. It won't be that bad. Come on, we'll get it. Look, I think it's floating over the ridge as we speak.
I don't want to wear that boot. Now it's been in the swamp. It's going to be all swampy boot.
I can clean it again. You cleaned yours.
I'll know it was in the swamp. I'll always know that boot was in the swamp.
I know where that boot's been.
I guess.
There might be a spare boot in Meg's.
I guess so. First of all, Dana, do you have any idea how the hell we're going to get across there? 'Cause I don't fancy getting wet.
Well, I'm not opposed to wading through dirty water, so that's how I've always done it, and I've been visiting Meg for years.
How do
I am opposed
Dude.
to that.
Do your raise you to ground thing.
that's okay and all, but I might drown because I'm significantly smaller than most of you folks.
Can't somebody give you a lift?
Mm,
I'm gonna like just walk
Toss the
past
dwarf
laughing
the
at
bagel.
this.
Didn't Pouches? You previously suggested sort of see if you could pry the ladder free, and stretch it across.
bridge.
It's interlaced
That's a good idea.
with vines and like creepers and things. You know, it's kind of been like lashed with vegetation to the wall, but some time and elbow grease and a sharp blade should, you know.
I'm
we
gonna
could
be
sort
like-
of
I'm gonna
roll
walk up to
survival
Andy.
to see how long it would take, you know. But
I'm gonna walk up to Annie and be like, "Look what I found! A boot. Would you like a boot? I'll sell it to you for the low price of a gold."
Screw you, Pouches.
smack
Give
it.
me my boot. And she just holds her hand up like, give me my boot.
I'm gonna give it to you, but it'll still be sopping wet. I haven't cleaned it yet.
Fine. She just grabs it and she just like she's doing a total teenage drop right now. She's just sitting there and she's letting her hair fall even more into her face, and she's like got her shoulders up and she's hunched over. She's now got a hand holding a boot, but the other hand is still across her, and she's just like
I'm
Slap
gonna
him with the boot.
walk over to look at the ladder, and as I do, I'm just gonna click my fingers, and the boot will just be dry.
that will get a like just a teensy tiny little smile.
I
But
sort
she's
of
like she's trying to not smile, but there will be like a little teensy tiny smile behind her.
And I'm just gonna say, I've always wondered what it was like to be a little sister. Now I know.
I just sort of prod her and go, come on, that was pretty good of him, eh?
And then I'm gonna look at the ladder and start to see how I'll get it off the wall.
Still know where it's been, and then she starts pulling it on.
That's a pretty good idea with the whole ladder. Let's see if we
Yeah.
can get it off.
Now, yeah, if somebody somebody you could make survival checks, or if somebody wants to make a survival check with advantage with somebody helping them, you know, Andy is a scout. You know, I think Andy is pretty handy with that stuff. Thana obviously is, you know, pretty survivalist too. I don't know who is
Now
the best
doubly
survival.
booted.
It's up to you, folks.
Now doubly
I
booted.
got plenty of brains, but no survival skills.
I've got really good
No.
survival.
I'm not all that great at surviving.
Can Thana see any of the dead bodies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
There are. I had already sort of deleted some of them just after combat, but
No worries.
I did leave a couple. There were like two bullywugs, just regular bullywug kind of grunts that were up here. There's another one of like these type of dudes
Mhm.
across near Meg's house. The bullywug royal, the chieftain,
Mhm.
his body is wedged here. It floated away. And the croaker, the shaman, his body is there. Most of the others, ones that were maybe killed in the water or had fled, there was giant toads, but they have since, you know, even in a few
Floated.
minutes, they've floated
Yeah.
down the river, even if the water is kind of stagnant. Well, not the river, but they've bobbed away.
Awesome. Thana is going to grab a stick and make her way to one and just start inspecting it while everybody's talking about getting across because she'll just wait.
Oh, no,
Um,
sorry. I meant to say, actually, the water is about 20 foot deep.
Okay.
That's my bad. Sorry.
Andy will have gotten over herself somewhat now that she has two boots on. Stood up and gone over to where Pouches is examining the ladder, and she's going to give him a poke in the ribs, and then a muttered kind of like "thank you," and then she's going to just immediately avoid any eye contact and start examining the ladder with survival.
I'll give you advantage on that. I'll help out. And I'll be nice and not even mention or make you feel bad about it.
22. Thank you, Pouches.
Ooh. Yeah. So in just give me a second. over the course of so over the course of about 15 minutes, you've got your knife and your pouches is sort of, holding the ladder in certain places and, holding it rigid, and you slice through various vines, some much greener and healthier than others, some dry and brittle. And eventually you work your way through and you free the ladder from its latticed holdings. Eventually it comes loose. It is, it is about, hang on, it was, was it a 15 or a 10? Oh God, I've lost my note on that. The ladder.
I think it was 20. It wasn't 10 at least anyway. I know that much because I lost too much movement going up and down the ladder.
Yeah. I thought it was a 10 because it was, For the sake of ease. I think it's my bad. I think in my notes I had it was about 15, but it's long enough anyway to reach, basically across, more or less. It's definitely long enough to reach across, the shortest gap. So it's not an issue.
I think you said it was a 20-foot ladder, so
it was. Sorry, I thought it was. Yeah. It's gonna reach anyway. So it's up to you folks, if you wanna. Are you just laying it across now?
Yeah, we're just gonna lay it across and walk over.
So the ladder is. You know what? Let me just. Give me 1 second here.
Doodle time.
Yeah.
Still here. Ugh.
Just while you're looking that up, and this dude over here, the one that floated across, he's the rich one, right?
I mean, it's a relative term, yeah, but
yeah, cool. Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Apologies. It's just I'm gonna Oh. Okay. Oh, God damn it. That's gonna drive me nuts. It'll do.
Sketchiest ladder I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The ladder in the swamp. Of course, it's janky.
Yeah. We know that's the ladder anyway. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's head across and make sure there's no one in here.
I refuse to have these purple struts on my ladder.
Actually, where did my token go?
Absolutely no idea. I don't know.
I think I may have, when I deleted the ladder thing, I deleted my token as well.
Hang on. Let me just. Oh, you got him back. Okay. Or did you?
I dragged a new token on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing 2 pouches now.
Yeah, ditto.
The worst nightmare.
Yeah.
He's done some kind of duplication spell. No.
Right, sorry guys, I got really distracted with something there. I needed to sort something out. Catch me up. You guys are jumping over the ladder. Okay. Did we have a short rest?
Not yet.
yet.
We're
Not yet.
rest in the house, hopefully.
Okay.
Cool. So crossing. Sorry, just before you do that, I'm going to say crossing the ladder. It's it stretches across, but it's not super sturdy. It reaches across, just about. So if people are crossing, before you do, could you just give me an acrobatics check, please?
Okay.
I'll make sure to hold one end while someone's crossing. Just
What's that you say?
and
Head off
stabilize
the
it.
jump calculator? Will do, DM.
Yeah, well, Andy
He already
did
successfully
cross.
did jump across. Like,
Yeah.
Does me holding it give anyone advantage on that check? If I try and hold the ladder stable.
I'd say if there are two people, if there's someone holding it on the other side, Andy made it across first. Andy, if you hold the ladder on that side and Pouches is holding it on the other side, then
I can come down and help too. I can
then
cast guidance as well.
then Thana can roll again. Or guidance.
Roll again.
With a running start, I can jump 18 feet.
Oh yeah, well you could just
Would
Doral
you
could just
require some sort of...
no, Doral could just because from point to point, I'd say he could make that. Yeah, that's fine. It's only DC 10 to get across.
Alrighty.
Okay, come on, Patri. Cross the ladder.
The dog is at the top of the ladder and is like
Can I carry
at
the
the top
dog?
of the cliff. Is now at the top of the cliff and is like looking down like
Oh no, we
Oh,
would've
damn
put the
it!
ladder down.
We
would've
forgot
taken
the
dog
bloody
down.
dog!
Can the
nobody
dog,
said
like,
they
jump
took the
on my
dog
back?
down.
Can he like
left
crawl
the
on
dog
my
at
back
the
and I can crawl across?
Sorry,
oh, to jump
what'd you
into
say,
the
Nico?
water.
I said, can the dog come on my back and I can crawl across?
The dog in the back. Well, the dog is, larger than you, but yeah.
Plus he's 20 foot up the cliff. Or 15 feet or whatever it is.
Can I? He's too big to catapult. Okay, what do I need to roll to cross?
Too big to catapult. Well, if you want, I don't know. If you call him, he might try and make the jump, depending on how convincing you are.
Do you want a visit from the SPCA? Because that's how you get a visit from the SPCA.
Oh, he can swim across though. He's a doggo. He can figure it out. I'm sure.
Grand.
All right.
Survives
Sorry, what do I
20
need?
foot
Just the
Acrobatics
person's all
or?
on the other side, swearing, looking up at this dog, just calmly watching us from afar.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's really tickling me.
Yeah. So, Patri, if you roll acrobatics, to try to get across the ladder. Obviously, you can give yourself guidance.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna.
If you get a 4, it will. Just about. Oof.
2. No.
Um, So
I slip
Patri,
in. What do I have that
get
can help me?
halfway through, and you splosh into the water.
Ah,
Meanwhile, Watson has flown over. Watson, as Thana, you see that above Patri there is a little vial, a glass sort of potion vial with little wings that is flapping around and following Patri. And it just flaps to the other side.
Kind of going
Uh,
to make a note to ask about
Patri has
this later.
advantage though. Why didn't you roll with advantage? I'm holding the ladder on one end, so you have advantage.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll take the 2 from. Sorry, I'll put you there. We'll take the 2 from the guidance anyway, but you can roll the acrobatics again. That. Sorry, Nikki. Patri, yeah, you can roll the acrobatics again, because you should have actually had advantage.
roll. It's
Oh,
being really.
sweet.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
no, oh no, sorry, it's not good. So Patri is across with Watson, so it's just Pouches on this side. Yeah, so Pouches, you're across. The dog. Seeing Patri has gone across, it is going to. So first of all, let me see. It's sort of looking unsure, sort of testing the cliff edge, and not sure if it wants to drop or not. And it's looking at you all across the water.
Where?
Told you not to bring that bloody dog. I did say. I mean, is this the moment where I told you so?
Oh, come on, Doggo. Come on, Doggo. Okay, sorry guys, I need to make that phone call really quick right now. Just give me 1 sec.
All good. All good. Okay, I just rolled animal handling for Patry. I just want to see what Patry's bonus is. Is she proficient? No, okay, so -1. 15. Okay, so the dog is going to attempt to jump down. And the dog, nope, the dog does land here, but it takes. Okay, the dog takes 9 bludgeoning damage, slipping, and again the dog with 5 hit points, he hits his head, and the dog is unconscious.
Thana is going to rush back across, if possible.
Yeah, you just make the normal, just an acrobatics check normally, or you can obviously just swim. There's not any danger in the water. I mean, you'd know, obviously, as I said, if you fall in, you don't want to swallow any of it. It's stagnant water. It's pretty dangerous, but that's fine. But okay, so.
If I'm still bracing the ladder, should that have had advantage?
You need to be bracing the ladder from both sides.
Okay.
But you splash in, but again, it's not really an issue. You're just wet and stinky. But then,
Stinkier.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the dog is it's unconscious.
Okay. I'm going to cast Healing Word on the doggo.
Ooh. Actually, just before you, because literally right before you cast. Well, I'll see if you still want to cast. I actually rolled a nat 20 on its first death save, and
Okay.
so the dog sort of blinks awake. It has 1 hit point. So the dog currently has 1 hit point. So it's up to you whether you're using, if you want a healing word or not.
Yeah, I'll cast Healing Word to try and stop down, but
Cool.
this is more.
Yeah. Okay. So it is has all its it has its all its hit points, and it wakes up. It feels Busher. Its foot was kind of twisted, but you can see it's kind of set itself right, and it's when the dog comes over, the dog licks your hand, and is still pretty kind of subdued. It's a brave dog, and yeah, the dog can swim across. It's certainly capable of swimming across. If you want to coax it across.
Yep, I'll coax the dog across. I'll just swim as well this time.
Yeah, I think just by virtue of obviously the healing and stuff, it's in that moment, it's happy to follow. So the dog is across the water, and yeah, you are You are in front of Meg's cottage. Andy has already been to the outhouse. But yeah, you can see the door is the door is opened from the bullywug stuff coming. Why does this do this? Yeah, the door is open, so you can see in, and kind of,
I'm sort of hoping the inside here is going to be a little bit more of a defensible position, somewhere we can actually get some well-earned rest.
Can I reach the slightly richer frog dude from the bank here to check his pocket? I assume he has some kind of pockets.
If somebody wants to,
the richer dude.
It's to the water. It's 10 feet from that hung. But if somebody wants to hold your ankles and you want to scoop down and have a rifle.
I think I'm actually honestly a little bit too wrecked and hurt at the moment to want to dangle over a cliff to search the frog dude's pockets.
Yeah,
he might float away though if I don't do it right now, but he's a frog dude, so even if he's the richest of the frog dudes, he's probably not like really proper rich.
Yeah,
so it's no, she's gonna run that equation and she's gonna be like, no, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, he is. I mean, his spear is fancy looking, but not fancy looking, but it's pretty gnarly looking. But I mean, it's big. It's a big spear, But that's it. It's.
Yeah, no, she's not going to go. She's just going to give it up and be like, no. And back away.
Yeah.
Thana's just going to look at the body, kind of longingly wanting to have a bit, to dissect a bit more, and trying to appear more normal is going to leave it alone for now.
Yeah. I literally want to dissect a big frog. This is very much a science experiment for Thana.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, he is there, looking, bloated, and I feel like Thana, you would you give me a nature check, with advantage because you're familiar with the swamp.
Sure.
Right. Ooh.
Nice.
Nice one. Yeah, that, because you've seen dead bullywugs, there's a lot of them, so that there's, in this kind of little ecosystem, kind of, they gather together in clans. There are bullywugs who are more like toads, the grung who are small, little diminutive little tree frog kind of, or like poison dart type people, they have poisonous skin. If you had seen Doral attempting to search the shaman, you could have warned him, but luckily he didn't touch the grung skin. And then there are the other guys, Grippleys, who look like tree frogs, and they're taller than bullywugs, but are much slimmer. And it's there are the little grungs, little sneaky ones. The shaman, also called a croaker, is always a grung, and they have. It's literally as they take these positions in society, bullywugs will challenge each other for the position of royal, and when they win, kind of much like a silverback gorilla starts to develop its silver hide, or other kind of amphibians and reptiles that their biology literally changes. The bullywug that's the royal gets physically larger. So you've never dissected a royal, it was similar to a bullywug. They're just bigger and stronger. And the shaman has this a special, particularly special. I don't know what the organ is called if there is one on an amphibian that inflates when it croaks. But that's how they cast their magic. They do basically throat singing. But it's not it's not magical necessarily, but it allows them to basically use special verbal components for their magical croaks. But yeah, you know that a Bullywug Royal is built a bit differently, so it's a shame, but and actually, now to be fair, though Thana wouldn't know this, Pouches and others have harvested materials from magical creatures before, so maybe once we've had some time to talk, if they maybe you've all dissected people, so it's not so it's not so weird. But that we kind of discussed that a little bit, that if people want to like harvest things from creatures, there might be some benefit in possible alchemical or herb, kind of herbological ingredients that you might be able to mix, magical biological parts. But you don't think there would be anything magical to harvest from a Bullywug Royal? It would be more scientific. It would be more of a,
Good to know. Nice to
it
know.
would be more of a scientific exercise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was rambling about frog
no.
people.
Oh.
Cool.
I sort of sniff the air outside. Does it smell bad inside this place?
Oh yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, if you can put up with a smell, we can sleep in here, or do we just rest outside?
Yeah. Megs doesn't normally smell like this.
Yeah.
We've been in
Smells like
sewers.
Bullywug.
How bad can it be? She says as she comes up behind you.
Yeah. You are the shit police.
I mean, it's not, shit monster levels, but it's pretty up there. I might just stay outside and have a wee sit down right here.
I mean, assuming that I'm just gonna reveal, assuming.
Anyway, I'm no good at searching for stuff. Pouches, give it a look
Yeah.
over.
Assuming obviously that you would look in and stuff.
Andy's going in.
Yeah, it
like no
doesn't
smell.
it doesn't look as pleasant as
Guys, go look at this
Kate's.
silly place. I'm not
Yeah,
looking at
it doesn't look as pleasant as Kate's lovely map here. Kate of It's a Map on Twitter, if you want to check out who made this fantastic map. It did look like that, but it's in disarray. There is mud is tracked everywhere, and on some of the surfaces there's a sort of a slime, covering it, sort of like the fluid that like frog spawn would be suspended in. It's not like, it's not absolutely everywhere. You could probably sweep some muck aside, but it is certainly on the bed. It's mostly on the bed. The royal has clearly been, lounging in his newfound castle.
I'm gonna Mary Poppins this motherfucker.
I'm going to search under
Over
the
the
bed.
course of
And at the same time, I'm gonna search the place.
So it's going to take it is going to take about 14 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes to Mary Poppins the place. Just getting every little nook and cranny. But you are able to. I'm going to say, are you doing the surface level Mr. Muscle, Mr. Clean, prestidigitation over the surfaces before we kind of go rummaging? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so with that done, Pouches, investigation, Andy. Where am I? I don't know. Is anyone else helping or getting stuck in with the search?
I'm outside. I have a flint and tinder, and I'm attempting to light a fire. And then I remember that I already have a light, and I take out my pipe.
Cool.
So
Yeah. I am gonna So Patrini, you can roll. Thana, just roll with advantage, just because obviously you've been in the house, so you know the layout and where everything was before it got tossed up. But obviously with everyone, if everyone's rolling, I think I might do a group check then to kind of see you're all peeking and over here and look at this, help me, you lift up the bed and, you know. So, yeah, Patri and roll, and then Thana, you can roll with advantage for investigation.
Okay. While Thana is looking around, she's just going to kind of see everybody looking through Meg's stuff and start getting a bit uncomfortable and say, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What?
Meg has a lot of things lying around that she doesn't necessarily explain very well, and if you don't know what you're dealing with, things don't always go very well.
And actually, has anybody explained to Thana that you're like the situation with Meg and looking for the map? Or yeah, that's fine. Obviously, no. I'm just saying. So I'm not making assumptions. Obviously, you might not want to necessarily give that away, but let me just double check one thing. So, obviously, as you were picking through things.
Sorry, Ben. There was a vote in the chat, and the dog is now currently named Mr. Fibbles.
Mr. Fibbles.
This is why we shouldn't leave chat alone.
I don't know. I mean, I love you all, and I hate you all in equal measure. So, Mr. Fibbles is outside with Doral, as Doral is smoking his pipe. And Patri's there. Patri and Watson are, Watson's floating around, weaving in.
Who's specifically looking for like hidden nooks and crannies and like little secret treasure?
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, I forgot Patri and Thania. So you're in here investigating. So, where are my rolls?
This laptop really sucks. I can't wait to get a new computer.
I know. Pouch is. It's kind of. To Pouch's credit, he you don't find anything in particular, but Pouch's was, doing the mammoth task of Mary Poppinsing the place, So while kind of he was doing that, other people were sort of coming in to check things over, kind of getting the jump on him. So Pouch just hasn't found anything specifically. Patri, sort of under a collapsed shelf, you have found, you find the map that you were looking for. So you pull up. There is very clearly it is a map on, like on vellum, specifically not parchment. It's quite, it's quite mucky, and it's a little torn in places. But it is a map to, from the camp to the ruins, and you can work out in relation to where the cottage is and other landmarks that you passed on the way, so you'd be able to follow the path to the ruins using this map. And then Andy, where is my notes? So
she found a pile of gold.
Yeah, Andy, you, sorry, what am I looking at? Oh no, sorry, Thana. You find Meg's spare herbalism kit. So, luckily for you, because they don't actually think Thana technically has one in her inventory. But so you take some of your thinking now of you might need them. So there is a Meg's herbalism kit is there, and just out of the corner of your eye, you see Andy picking up these little vials, like in clay vials, and you sort of rush over to Andy as she finds 3 doses of basic poison, which I can give you the description for from the DMG. So yeah, Andy, Thana, you see that Andy has found a couple of poisons in little vials.
Ooh. She's really good at making those.
What are they?
Poisons.
Poisons?
Yeah.
What do the poisons do?
The poisons?
It depends.
Hang on, I can tell you.
I was gonna say Thana was going to cast detect poison.
Oh yeah. They Oh yeah, you can if you want, or I think yeah. Okay, well actually that's a good so when you cast that, you actually as well as the basic poison, so you can use the poison in this vial to coat one slashing or piercing weapon, or up to 3 pieces of ammunition. It takes an action to apply the poison, and a creature hit by the poisoned weapon or ammo makes a con save, DC 10, or they take 1d4 poison damage. And once you apply it to something, it retains its potency for a minute before it dries. And then when Thana casts Detect Poison and Disease, there's like a little ping, and you find things, because you've been setting tables, right? Like rolled away from the table, just under one of the bookshelves, and another one sort of has rolled into the fireplace, and you pick out bits and pieces. You find Meg's poisoner's kit, which, because it still has traces of poison in it from the mixings. And you also find... anything else? You also find 1 dose of serpent venom, which is more powerful. I will tell you what that does. I'm just going to paste the poison. I can do this later. I will give you the actual description, but just for time being, that is the basic poison. And the serpent venom is so again you apply it to a weapon or ammunition, or to like a bear trap or something, whatever you're applying it to. So a creature subjected to this poison has to succeed on a DC 11 con save, and they take 3d6 poison damage on a fail, or half as much on a success. So there is a dose of serpent venom as well, which is more potent.
Are those vials single use then, or would they be like, if I was coating my arrows, say, would they coat multiple arrows, or would they coat 1 arrow apiece?
Each dose, there's 3 doses. A dose will coat 1 weapon or 3 pieces of ammo. So in total, you could coat 9 pieces of ammo, but don't coat them all. Like they only last remain a short time, a minute, and then it will dry. And then serpent venom, similar rules, but it does more poison damage on a fail, and it still does some, on a success.
Okay, so I'm going to relay this information, but I'm going to kind of like wiggle the serpent venom bottle and say, but I want to keep this one, and I'm going to keep the poisonous kit as well as the
Yep. Ilthana can make basic poisons, and I did a similar thing with Patri, where in downtime and stuff, and I think Patri is still researching it for her alchemy jug. I don't remember what it was. It was it was some liquid that were like, could I produce honey from it or something? Like, I can't remember now. But you can experiment and effectively practice with your poisoner's kit, and experiment with ingredients and try and come up with deadlier poisons. So so that is what you turned up. Things are set, you set things right.
If no one's going to stop Andy, she's going to just pocket the 3 vials she found when she knows what they do.
Just make sure that the vials stay closed.
Yeah. Okay. And these are, again, like, not they're not all glass vials. They are in they're like little clay vessels, but
when you said that, Andy's just going to kind of stop what she was doing and then separate them and put 1 in each pocket.
Right.
So I think with that, we are the sun is or the light is really starting to fade now. It's kind of coming to dusk, and you're now seeing, more insects chirping, and you see more like butterflies and moths start appearing in the air,
Mm-hmm.
as night is approaching.
Is there any like fishing equipment in Meg that I could use to try and catch something to eat in the swamp?
I would say there would be, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then I was going to go like look around for that because I assume it's not where it usually is. So I'm going to find that and then go outside and take a seat.
Yeah, I think with the investigation check that you had rolled, it's, and especially, I mean, if people want, I don't know, you can continue searching. If you're spending, a short rest or a long rest here, we can effectively kind of, take 10. You can kind of take a, and kind of go again. You'll give you another check if you're staying here. But Thana, will you give me a survival check just for the result of all this fishery? So 10. Yeah, so you do you catch your you're there a while, and you do catch a this kind of big it's not too big, but this sort of brown, very dun brown river trout. It's it'll feed. I mean, it would feed everyone, but they mightn't get a lot. Or it would feed a few people, but it's fresh fish. It's tastier than dried rations. And you're there a while, and you do hook something else, but you pull it up, and disappointed. It is this very thin, but it almost looks like an eel, but it's a pike, which it's not good. It's poisonous to eat, but it's poisonous. So you could, if you want to try, and if you want to
extract some
give me a survival, give me a survival check, and extract, I would say specifically, because you're proficient with medicine, right?
I am indeed.
Yeah, sorry, because I actually did that as well for the other harvesting. If you give me a medicine check, because it's effectively surgery, kind of. So you completely intact, you sever it at exactly the place. You've done this 100 times. You get this thing's like, it's got like a venom sac. And that is, you can pop that into ingredients. So, the swamp pike's venom sac, which, there's another little ingredient there. So, are people, as the party, short resting here, or are we bedding down for the night that's approaching?
A long rest, I guess, if we...
Nightfall is probably another, 2 hours out, but...
I don't fancy going back through the woods and getting back to Minehelm at nighttime through the swamp and the woods. So I reckon we should just spend the night here. It seems pretty secure.
Did you find the map yet?
I didn't.
Patrie did, yeah.
Has she told us she found it?
Yeah, have you?
Well, how big is this map?
Yay big.
I'll try and look it over. He won't hide it from anyone. We'll just say all right, guys, look, I think this is it.
Right. Well, we have a decision, I suppose. Do you want to go back to Minehelm and tell them, here's what we found, it's maybe a bit more than we can chew, or do we keep going, rest here, and maybe head out in the morning? What
I
do
think we need to finish this job.
you-
Totally
Yeah,
up to you.
I'm kind of with you. What do the rest of you think?
Just from a metagame perspective, I don't mind if you want to go back to Mindhelm.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend traveling through these woods at night, but I'm happy to do whatever you guys are doing.
You sort of
Well,
Can I
talking
can I
about.
take a look at the map and see how far the ruins are from here?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I would say
I'm gonna-
give me survival check. It's usually the default for kind of navigate because obviously it's it's a rough map, so it can be difficult to judge distances. It doesn't have exact distances.
Can I give you an intelligence check instead? Because I'm not good at survival.
Well, unfortunately, because you have to kind of, it's more going on landmarks. Well, okay, you can give me intelligence survival. So if you're not proficient in survival, just give me an intelligence check.
22. So I have brainy.
Nice. Yeah, you do a little mental geometry and looking at the
I look at the stars. I
locations,
look at the map.
looking at the stars outside. It's a very rough estimation, but at a good pace, it'd probably be like 2 hours of trekking to the ruins if you're making very good time, or it could be as long as like half a day, but it's not like a full day, or not half a day, like 6 hours, maybe. It could take just the morning, or it could take the morning and into like gone noon. But it's not going to take you're not going to be all day trekking.
Well, how many spell slots do you guys have? Do you need a long rest, or shall we head out?
I need a short one for sure to get my slots back.
A short rest would do me as well.
I'd rather not.
Back in a long or a short rest, Patri.
Hmm?
You get yours back in a long or a short rest. I thought it was a
Short, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
short. That's nice.
Yeah.
What about pouches? How you spent for magical energy?
I could do with a long rest.
All right.
I'm starting to feel a little bit tapped.
It's close to the end of the day anyway. How about we just rest here until the morning and then figure it out then?
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hang on. Sorry. What is?
Shall we call that our break, Ben?
No, yeah. Sorry, I was just checking something. No, yeah. Patri would get his spell slots back on a long rest. I think so. But yeah. So okay, I'm just gonna move.
I'm just gonna be like dibs on the bed.
Yeah, dibs on the bed. I think so as everyone prepares to bed down for a long rest, we're just going to take a 10-minute break, and we will see you very soon. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. I was talking too much, as per usual. We're doing. Yeah. So you have, all of you have sort of settled down. You're going to take your long rest, and I don't know if anyone, if we're doing another sweep of the place or just getting ourselves, bedded down. But you can do one final sweep if you're going to be spending the night here.
Do we want to do watches? I'm happy to take
Also.
first watch.
We should definitely do that. I'll take second.
I'll take third.
I don't know if folks would be comfortable with me taking a watch, but I'm going to offer to take a watch or at least do half. Or do a watch with somebody else.
Guess before we go to sleep at night, we should tell you the whole story. How exactly do you know Meg? Would be the first question I have.
Well, Meg has always been. So, when I was younger, I obviously grew up around the sewers and I used to do a lot of exploring. And Meg was one of the only people who encouraged me to follow my natural interests. And I remember she used to take me out. We'd find different animals. We'd learn their biology, and obviously, if we find it and we found any remains, their anatomy. So I had a natural knack for that, and Meg was always there to encourage me. And ever since, have been coming back roughly once a month or so to check in on her to see if there's anything I can help with. And yeah,
Well, I mean, hopefully we're gonna go do this thing. There's some. We're brown cloaks. We work like, I don't know, city watchmen in Minehelm.
hmm
What has us out here? We're after some bad people called the Fearless Fellows, and this map that we found will lead us there. We're gonna go there tomorrow and deal with them. Question
Okay.
mark. And then we'll be going back, and hopefully we will be seeing Meg again. At least to tell her her house is free and she doesn't need to live there anymore. Would you be interested in coming with us?
Oh, absolutely. That would be great. Thank you. That is, you're very kind.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Yeah. Everyone all right with that? I sort of look around the room.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Andy just looks up from where she was picking her nails with her dagger and goes,
Tana is just going to kind of be taken a little bit back and be like, "Oh, okay,
Sort of nod and roll my eyes.
is she always like this?
Yeah. Lately.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, watches. Reading it. So, are people? Are we just doing like? Is one person on watch? Are we going in teams? I mean, there's 5 of you, but I suppose somebody could take a watch with the dog. If you know, if you split it up into 3, you could do. Yeah,
Mr.
you could
Fibbles!
You could do teams. You know.
I'll take a
Yeah.
walk with Mr. Fibbles.
Yeah.
All right, well, take a long rest and do our watches.
Nice. So, what are we? Okay. So, who is pulling what watch?
Andy's gonna go first.
Okay. So this is just Andy solo doing a watch, right? And you can, yeah. If people, I don't know what position people are asleep. Also, I don't think it applies to anybody. I don't think anybody is wearing. Actually, Patrie might be wearing medium
Heavy armor?
armor. Medium armor, I think. Which means that. I gotta double check my Xanathar's rules for sleeping in armor.
1/4 of the you only get regain
Yeah,
1/4
you only
hit
get
dice.
a quarter of the hit dice, isn't it? Yeah, and you don't regain any. You don't have any exhaustion. But essentially, it's like if you sleep in medium or heavy armor, if you sleep with it on, you don't get. You're not as well rested. You'll get everything else back, but instead of up like half your hit dice back, you only get a quarter back. And if you had levels of exhaustion, they don't go away. But obviously, it's sleeping in your armor. Obviously, if you have to get up in the middle of the night, it's you got to put the armor on if it's off, or vice versa. But it's up to you. You won't be as rested if you sleep in your armor, or you can leave it on. And I don't know where is. Okay, I don't know whereabouts. People want to kind of bed down. I think Pouches, you dibs the bed.
Oh yeah, I dibs the bed for sure. Like I'm on the bed.
I mean, Patry, if he wants. I mean, there's definitely room for Patry at the foot of the bed. I don't know. It's not a massive bed, but I don't know if anyone. Yeah. So, yeah, Andy, are you? So you're doing watch, right? There is a window here because you were looking in. There is a window here over the table, and there is also a window here. So here and here. I didn't. I've actually. There are other windows visible, but I moved them around from what was on the map. So over here by Patry, on the western wall, near the top left corner by the fireplace, there is a window. And there is a window here. And the door is obviously just a plain wooden door. So I don't know, are you just standing in the room and watching the closed door, or are you...
I think she'd lock the door as best as possible.
Yeah, it has like a little
bolt
rope.
or something.
It's kind of got this like... There's like a spike driven into the wall, and then there is like a rope, like a loop, so it just like ties the door off so that obviously it doesn't move or blow in.
Yeah, I think she'd tie the door off, and then she's probably kind of gonna, while listening, kind of move around the room as quietly as she can while everyone's sleeping, and be sort of glancing out each window, sort of doing a circuit, while also pondering the meaning of life and her situation, and staring at some of her sleeping companions as she, in between her checking out the windows. So that's kind of how she's going to pass her presumably 2-hour watch shift.
So, so is everybody happy with where they have bedded down? Cool. So,
I will say, just in the corner where I'm standing, I use my cantrip mold earth to raise up a little platform for myself to sleep on.
Yeah, so Patry is sort of curled up in like the dog is the kind of wolfhound's like shaggy fur is kind of draped over Patry like a little eye mask.
I was just about to say the dog would probably go closer to the fire.
Watson, it's very strange. Yeah, you've never seen it. Watson flies over and slots himself into a little like the rack with all the other little vials and like potions. He like slots himself into the little spice rack, with
Where he belongs. That's so sweet and sad.
Yeah, he's like, woof, he kind of pops. I know he seems happy. It just feels natural, He's like, he just like slots himself in, and kind of shuts down for the night. And with it, so Andy, would you give me would you give me 3 perception checks, please?
Okey-dokey. Let me just check sure I haven't got an advantage on perception. And perception.
Yeah. So I mean,
clearly she was getting tired towards the end.
Yeah. Andy's, doing the circuit, and it's pretty good. You have your ears open. You're always alert to danger. Worrying about getting shanked in the night. You hear crickets. Periodically you hear a little kind of sloshing in the swamp water, and you press against the wall and peek out, but you might see a fin or a fish. It seems to just be fish swimming by. You at one point you look out the top left window by the fireplace, and you see something across the water on the cliffs, like through the trees. You see you're 100% sure it's some kind of a humanoid figure, kind of hunched or squat, and it passes. You think it stops and kind of looks to the cottage.
In the
Then
water or on the land?
disappears across the land, across the water on the opposite cliffs. The northern.
The cliffs
side
you
of
weren't
the
on
ravine.
before. Okay.
Yeah, and in the tree line, and is just kind of looks and then moves again. Continues kind of northeast. But nothing comes close to the cottage. Bar some insects and some some frogs croaking outside, but they are normal-sized croaks.
About
And
halfway through the 2-hour watch period, Dural comes out. He's had about an hour's sleep and he feels well rested. And one of my class features is that I can train shadow brocks, all that sort of thing, as part of a rest. So he goes outside and does a bit of exercising, shadow boxing, and actually sits down beside Andy at the fire, just sort of nods to you, and he sits cross-legged and does a sort of a weird sort of kata pose, and in front of him 2 little bodies appear made out of stone, tiny, about a foot tall each. They look like an artist's drawing model, and he goes through the previous fight. One of them looks like a big bullywog with a spear, and one of them looks like a short dwarf, and they have like a spar, but every 6 seconds it's him casting the spell again, and they change shape and duel each other, and he goes through it piece by piece, trying to figure out a better way to fight again in the future.
Is this the fire outside?
Yeah, the fire outside. Yeah.
I love Boyd doing like reviewing like the fight tapes. This is awesome.
So when Gerald woke up and went out to the fire outside, Andy is going to have gone outside and been doing her surveillance as circuits of the house on the outside. And each time she came back, she's going to have like paused probably for longer and longer each time to watch this amazing, weird, cool little mud puppet theater.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
And every time she'd be like, oh wait, no, I'm on watch. And then she'd go back to she'll do another circuit and she'll kind of come back and be like,
that was the final perception.
That's so cool. That's the 10 where she's like, her focus is like,
it's more
and
so
she's kind of hurrying around the
average
house to get back to see the next bit, like.
Yeah, but unless there's any other interaction between Andy and Doral, otherwise we'll pass Andy's watch, and Doral is. I assume Doral goes back to sleep.
Yeah. No, it's then it's my watch after Andy.
Oh yeah.
I just sort of say, I think that's your honor up.
You had a bit of a kip, yeah.
Get some sleep.
So Andy will tell him about, I saw something over on the northern bank. It was, I'm positive I saw something. It was like humanoid. It moved through, but then it disappeared again. But there's something over there.
Right.
And are you going to go around the outside, or are you going to go back inside?
I think I'll just keep sort of walking around, keeping an eye out.
Okay, and then Andy is going to curl up by the fire outside rather than go back inside.
All right. Are you sure you can head inside?
No, I think I'd rather be here.
All right. Suit yourself.
So you've set up like a fire kind of like outside, is it?
Yeah. Somewhere out here earlier, I'd set up a fire.
Cool. So just if that's, I'm just gonna a basic.
I've lost. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool. Sorry, I zoomed in on the wrong section of the map.
Just assume there's like a little,
red
campfire, something like that. Just kind of smoldering away.
There we go. It's red.
Awesome.
It's red. Cool. So yeah, we've got a little campfire there, and actually, do you know what? Just temporarily, I'm gonna move it to the map layer, just so we don't. Oh god damn it! Sorry. Oh, come on. Yeah, just so you know, it's not getting in your way when you're moving tokens and stuff. So, yeah, so you have gone to sleep, and
You want 3 perception checks from me?
yeah, sorry, and then yeah, Doral, you give me 3 perception.
There we go.
Okay.
12, 11, and a 9.
Okay. So, 12 and 9. Okay, so 1 second. Okay. Yeah, you're out here. Where are you? Yeah, so you're doing a little search of the perimeter, thinking about what's going on. You keep playing that fight, over in your head, and it got pretty hairy, and obviously we're about to kind of head into the Brigand's Den and the Fearless Fellows, and it's on your mind, you're thinking about the last, months in the Cloaks, and it's not exactly what you thought it would be, but you have settled into it maybe a bit more now. And then then you hear like rustling over this direction.
Right.
And a little, yeah.
And
then you hear this
Psst, Andy.
tapping.
What?
I think there's something in the bushes. Just if I don't come back, raise the alarm.
Which is where?
Over here, and he points to there.
And who okay, Pouches, Thana, and Patri. What's your passive perception?
9. So good.
Oh, Kyle's gone. Sorry.
13.
The 13. Okay. So
I heard you missing me.
sorry. Yeah. What's your passive perception?
12.
Okay. So yeah, everyone. Patri is still sort of and but first of all, the dog kind of perks its ear up, and then Thana, you kind of shaken out of sleep by the sound of a low rumbling growl from the dog, from Mr. Fibbles. And then Pouches, you're roused, and then Thana, and Pouches, you're looking. You wake up, and you look to the window, and Doral, you've come around.
Yeah.
Just here, and then you see at the same time that Thana and Pouches do. You look, and outside there's a shadow figure outside the window, staring out. It's hunched, and as it comes, a bit of cloud passes, over the moon, and then moonlight comes down, and you see this hunched, bulbous, almost slightly amphibious featured kind of humanoid, stringy wet hair over their clammy grey-green skin, and it's visibly female and hunched, is tapping on the window with one long claw-nailed finger, is tapping on the window and is, giving a come hither motion. And Doral, you see this as well. There is a where am I? Oh, I gotta go, sorry, to the other layer. There is this vision staring in the window, and then when you step to the side, she turns and looks at you.
Just throw a rock at her, scared.
Throw
Okay.
Eldritch Blast, throw a rock, or just a
like
rock.
an
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast,
Okay, well, give me an attack roll, and then it's gonna be initiative. Yeah.
Did we get any benefit of the rest?
Not yet. No, because you have to spend at least 6 hours sleeping.
Okay.
So you are not rested yet.
So yeah, a 12 to hit with the Eldritch Blast. Please tell me it misses.
Okay.
Comedic effect.
That's a miss. Yeah.
Good old comedic effect.
Yeah.
Ah!
So let me just. Oh God, where's the turn order? Okay, so T as well. First time, before you roll initiative, just make sure, just click on your token and then roll initiative, because otherwise roll 20 is stupid, and otherwise it doesn't come in.
Okay.
Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. And let me just, I will put your initiatives back in. I just realized all of those frogs were still in there, but I will put your rolls in. So Doral got 13 and Andy got 20.
I think Andy's going to be at the top of the roll anyway, but because she was starting to become alert and she heard the scream, she is going to have kind of tried to move around towards Doral, but I'll wait to see if I'm actually the top of the round, and I'll use that as my movement if I am.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have everybody got pouches? Thana, Andy, Doral,
The wolf.
the hag. Oh, I got a roll. Got a roll for the wolfhound.
And Petrie.
9. Yeah, and Petrie. So, give me 1 second here.
Sorry, are we re-rolling, or is this the numbers from before?
No, we're re-rolling now, so.
I think.
There we go.
Okay, now let me just put it in order.
I'm still asleep. I got no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then this thing turns around, Doral just blasts a rock at it. You all looking outside see it turn, and then see a rock just whoosh by its head, and then she turns and it's like, and you see her sort of move away from the window and kind of slink and start maybe moving for Doral. But Andy, you are up.
So Andy is going to have come 5, 10, got to here.
Yeah.
And been like, what the hell? And just is gonna notch an arrow. Actually, no. She's just woken up. She's run around the corner. She's gonna chuck a dagger at it. Sure. I don't even know what I just clicked. Sorry.
Hang on,
I didn't mean to hit it with a short bow.
That's all good.
Dagger thrown. Oh, okay. So that is the turn order is in my way. Hang on 1 second. So that's an 11 to hit. Wait, hang on. My computer's going mad. Yes, an 11 to hit.
Good. That is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay. So because she threw the dagger, I think that's Andy's movement. Let me just check what my bonus actions are.
Yep.
I think when I throw it, that's. Okay, Jesus. Bonus action. Take. Yeah, no, I think because I threw it, that's all I can do. Light melee weapon holding in one hand. I can use a bonus to attack with a different light weapon. Can I do that when I've thrown it? So if I was fighting in melee, I could dagger, but can I?
I will double check, but usually it's just you just have to have taken the attack action.
If either weapon has the thrown property, you can throw the weapon instead of making it. Oh, so I can actually do another offhand.
Yeah, it's
dagger
just
attack.
you have to have just taken the attack action.
Oh,
that's
not
quite a
20.
split.
Oh, that's quite an offhand.
So that's a nat 20 on the offhand, but the damage doesn't include the modifier.
So yeah, just.
I hope I have that set up right. Let me just double check.
Why is it so?
Yeah,
it should be.
It should be 1d4.
Yeah, so 2d4 plus. Well,
Nothing.
you rolled 2 3s plus. Oh, sorry, the offhand.
No, it should just the offhand should just be 1d4. I don't know why I rolled 2d4.
Sorry,
You critted.
I already.
Oh, because I critted. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, because it's not the
Thank
modifier.
you,
It's 2d4. Yeah.
So that's 6 points.
That is 6. Yeah. So yeah, Andy comes out and again first it's like, yeah, fuck, like what the fuck, and then it's like you shake it a bit and you kind of pull the other dagger and actually like flick it, underhand, and it spins and it it jams under this thing's chin and and kind of comes out through the bottom of her jaw. If anyone has seen Hot Fuzz. Yeah. She turns and says, I think I need some ice cream. And then she's like reaching up. You can see her reaching up to pull the dagger out. Is Andy movement action bonus?
She's gonna stay where she is. So she's not gonna try and get in front of Dural or anything, but she's not gonna move from where she is.
Not spending any more movement. Cool. Pouches. So there's a fight happening outside the window with some kind of big.
If I move to here, can I get a good look at this thing?
Yeah. It's dim light outside. It's a very bright moonlit night.
Okay. No, I mean, is it in the window and I can see it and I can see the ground and everything?
The window is pretty small, so you can see it from, maybe the kind of the belly button up. It's kind of hunched. You can see its top half.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna stand there and I'm gonna look at the windowsill itself. Is it what is the window made of?
There is some glass in the window itself. Obviously, the windowsill is a plank of wood. Like
plank of wood inside, or just plank of wood nailed to the outside of the building?
The plank of wood is on the inside of the building.
Okay. Can I see anything other than this creature outside that I could throw at this creature's head? I want to cast catapult from while I'm still inside at it. With something outside. I don't want to break the window.
I would say give me a perception check, because it's it's not a great vantage point.
22.
Oh,
natural 20.
You see, you're looking and fumbling, and then the moon just goes, and it just catches just right, and right here, just on the periphery of where you can see. There's a particularly jagged, broken piece of rock off the cliff face. It almost looks like a little blade. Flint.
It's catapult time.
DC. Dex, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That isn't. Where's my. Yeah, no, that is just an 8. So that's a fail. So, what, 14?
14. Yeah, 14 points of bludgeoning to it.
Nice. So, yeah, this thing comes in and it's jabbed up there, and this rips and cuts right through, and it actually, you see it graze along the the top of its skull, and it kind of like dents in and it like gashes, down, and you see blood, and you're not sure. You really hope it's just how it looks in the moonlight, but the blood, it just looks black, like thick and black, as it just runs out of its scalp.
Then I'm going to carry on running and run out the front door, and that should be as far as I can get on my turn.
Okay. It is now the creature's turn. Assuming bonus actions or anything.
No bonus actions. I'm a wizard. We don't understand what the term bonus action means.
Yeah.
Wizards have one action, and it's called spell.
Yeah, spell. It is going to. Yeah, she will. So from here, Doral, she is going. So she points her finger, and she's got like a little. It looks like a walking stick, made of this kind of moss and lichen covered wood, but she sort of like holds it up, almost like a staff, and like holds it and then points a finger at you, and casts a withering ray, and that is 13 plus 6 is 19 to hit.
Okay.
You take. Oh, sorry, lost my place. Okay. You take 13 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh.
And it's this thing, like, it just comes at you like, it's like a sludge, it kind of, and as it like splats, and it doesn't sting or anything, but you just feel where it hits your shoulder, you feel like your skin rots a little bit, and it gets sort of like wrinkled and pitted, and yeah, it's just like it's almost like your skin, like your flesh just ages, and it's sort of kind of like depletes a bit, and it's like just this horrible feeling that shocks you to the core. And then this what looks like a big old like sort of frog lady, almost like a frog granny, is like seems to like put the staff away, and like with this walking stick, but also kind of moving animalistically, is kind of like she starts like on a kind of like bounding towards you.
I'm like holding where I've got hit, and I'm like, what in the nine hills even are you, you repugnant cave slinking banshee?
Oh, but thankfully, she rolls a nat 1, and could you see she opens her mouth, and it like unhinges like to 4 times the size, and she just has these blunt like teeth, but there's ooze of like black pus in between her gums, and she like opens wide, and then at the last minute you it's gonna strafe out of the way, and you hear the audible like clamp down of her teeth just by your ear, like like she was just gonna latch onto you.
Wake up!
Yeah, but that was movement as action.
I want to go back to the ship monster.
That is going to be it for her for that turn, which means it is Thana.
So I'm just going to kind of start and say, why are we just attacking? Why is nobody trying to talk to it?
That wasn't in character, sir.
And Tana is going to make their way to the door.
Did Donna realize that she's talking to no one except the person who's still asleep?
Yes. Tana talks aloud to themselves quite a lot. Yeah, so Tana is just going to be like, because would Tana have seen the come hither?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, So Thana's gonna have like a natural curiosity as to why they don't want us to come near instead of just attacking straight away.
Who knows?
Yeah. I'm going to get to the door and cast Zone of Truth.
Ah. So you're still like you're gonna move to just like inside the door. You're still inside the cottage, or you've come out?
So I'm just going to, I think my movement will only allow me to get like just
No, you go 5, 10. No, that's 5, 10. Well, technically every second diagonal is 10 feet, so 5, 10, 20. That would be 25 feet.
Okay.
So you've still got 5 more, but you can't move diagonally.
Okay, so I'll just move to there and cast Zone of Truth.
Cool. What is the range of Zone of Truth?
The range is 60 feet and the actual diameter is 15, I believe.
Actually, I got these from which I thought was very cool. From somebody I was lucky enough actually just I don't know. Need to get this to size.
Could you pop that in the chat, the spell?
Yeah, sure.
There's like usually a little bubble beside the spell or something that you can press it and we can see it in the chat what it means.
Oh. Yeah. Look up.
Thank you.
I just want to see. I got this actually, which is very handy. I actually did. I was doing a playtest, and the person who was running it had these spell templates and was kind enough to actually give them to me, which I didn't even think to look for. So hang on, that's.
Remember, Zone of Truth, she casts on a point she chooses.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty much gonna encapsulate.
I think that might be too big.
It's a 15-foot radius. Yeah, well, yeah, because it's got sphere. So.
No, I'm
5,
saying
10,
the
15.
template's too big because it doesn't. When you had a one size smaller, the cubes were matching to the cubes. It's now
Yeah.
too big.
Yeah, I need
That's
Yeah.
about right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but I
the
don't
right
know because
size
I
now.
don't know if it's matching
60
to the
feet,
radius.
5, 10, 15.
It's not quite.
It's
anyway.
close to it. It's close enough, Ben, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. I gotta figure that one out. So, but yeah, I mean, it's going to. I mean, 15 feet. Yeah, we're talking. It's most of this area. So I know anyway. It'll be 15 feet out from. Is it you centering it where you are now, or picking?
I'm going to center it closer to the creature.
Okay, so I'm going to assume if it's maybe like where Andy is probably as far as
Close
you can
enough.
see.
Yeah, that's as far as I can.
Yeah, so it would currently, it's going to be in it, where it is, and a bit beyond.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Nice. So, bonus actions, anything?
No.
Okay.
Don't
Which
we all have
means-
to make saves?
Uh,
Oh, this
Till
was
the
technically, yeah.
The creature that enters this area for the first time or starts its turn, they must make a charisma
Oh,
saving
so
throw.
actually, I suppose you would have to make them as well, yeah.
So at the beginning of every turn, we're all making saves. Yay!
But it's only if we're asked a question, right? We don't feel the need to spill our guts. I'm reading this.
No.
no, it's not.
No.
It's not like a compulsion to.
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not compelled to speak.
Yeah.
If you did Zone of Truth, and then I suppose you did suggestion or you cast command on somebody,
Then. Yeah.
to make them speak.
Also, Miss Jawbreaker would like some of your snacks, Ben. She wants you to share.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I'm too nice when it comes to DMing, but get your hands off my snacks.
She wants to know what you're snacking on tonight. If you say pretzels, I'm
Tonight,
gonna
the DM
die.
is supported by snacks of the variety of potato occasions.
Bacon fried. Yeah,
At least you're not gonna
Oh,
accidentally
give
kill
me
yourself
they'll
with
give me-
pretzels.
So good.
they'll give me cancer, but they're delicious, like most things. Yeah. And
Rugby sentences you're snacking on
Cadbury's
the hearts of
caramel.
all his players.
So, yeah, I think then that's going to be Doral, right? Up next. So, if you give me a charisma save, just to see whether you are affected by the zone of truth.
Ooh. An 18.
Nice, that is a pass. So you are not under its truthful spell. Yeah, this.
So as a bonus action, I sort of plant my feet and some rock makes its way up to my hand, and I now have a rock fist. And I'm gonna punch this goddamn thing right in the gobber.
Yeah.
Let's see. That is a 9 to hit, but I'm presuming it misses because I have a feature with my dread hand that if you
can
first time you miss with an unarmed strike, you can make an additional strike.
Yeah.
So let's try again.
Its AC is 15. Now that you've hit a couple times.
All right, cool. So that is
nice.
22. So that is a total of. So I figured this out. Whenever I have dread hand on, if I roll a 1, it automatically rolls me another dice. Because if I roll a 1 on the damage dice, I get to roll it again. So it's a 3 plus 4.
Oh,
so it's
sweet.
actually a 7, which is weird.
That's it's 7 damage, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it automatically rolls the.
It seems to. I don't know. It's whatever. What do you call him? Juan made.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it automatically rolls, then yeah, Jean inputted like he because the pugilist obviously is third party and it's not MCDM has like their third party classes got supported by Roll20, but obviously it's a much bigger company. So Jean just like custom built the pugilist for me into the campaign because he's
I think that's what it's doing, and I've actually hit him for 7 damage.
Sweet. So
that's action, bonus action, and I'll just sort of try and rotate around this person. Can I move to there? Is that possible from there to there?
if you give me a dexterity check.
It looks like I'd fall. I think I'll stay where I am. That is my turn.
Cool. So yeah, Doral comes in and just, kind of misses one, but then recovers and smacks with the Titan hand right across the jaw, and it actually it kind of like punches and it dislodges the dagger from under its chin, and it lands with a sort of a wet thud into the ground. So that is Doral.
My turn.
And the dog. Let me see. Okay, the dog is feeling brave. And 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Let me see. Yeah, I can move another. It just moves. It just moves to here, where I can't really see. No, it can't. It's gonna stay there because it can't use its full movement, and it's just for now. It just starts barking. And Patri, you wake up. There is commotion outside.
Obviously, I'll come and join the party. And it's just this one here, right? This guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I have one spell. Well, do I? Because I was one of the last ones. Does it count as a full rest that I got? Or...
No, nobody's gotten a long rest. You have to get 6 hours of sleep.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll use my last spell slot on inflict wounds on this guy, I guess. Is that how close do I need?
You need to get up and touch it unless obviously you could. Well, Watson's over here.
Yeah, so I'll use Watson here. Whoops. There you go.
Oh, sorry, that was I moved him. Sorry. So.
Yeah.
Go.
So he comes with me outside, and then I will cast Inflict Wounds.
Well, he'd have to get up. And then he'd have to get up next to her as well.
Yeah, up here. There. On him.
Well, hang on. How many? Watson's movement?
Well, because we had it so he follows me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And then
so
he's
5,
got
10,
30
15, 20. So hang on.
I
5,
think-
10, 15, 20, 25. He's just going to be able to get out the door into one of these spaces. He could share your space though.
So he can't get here?
He can get there. No, well, he could if he uses his action to dash, and sets it up. Kind of if you want to set it up for the next. Or you could hang on.
Well,
Because you could cast inflict. Yeah, you cast inflict wounds, and
Use his
then
dash to
5,
move.
10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, you can get there, and then if you want to do your
And then-
reaction and his reaction to cast inflict wounds through Watson. Nice. So that's a 17 to hit. Yeah, that is a hit. So you can roll damage for inflict wounds.
8.
Oh, still nice.
Enough.
Nice. So let me just see, where am I at? Cool. So yeah, again, you send Watson, he comes winding and whizzing through everyone, and then again the clear fluid inside Watson, as you cast inflict wounds, it fills up with that black sort of almost symbiote like ichor, and he spins and drops. A drop of it falls on there, and it lands in the gash in her scalp that had been created by the catapulted piece of flint, and you see it just like festering the wound on her scalp, and she's like kind of just gurgling. Yeah, I'm guessing that's Patry and Watson.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Nice. So it is back to Andy.
So Andy can't okay, so no, Andy, I know exactly what Andy wants to do. She wants to fire an arrow at this thing, so never mind.
Sure.
She's gonna, having fired daggers at it already, she's gonna have pulled up her crossbow. And yeah, she's gonna shoot an arrow at it, so normal crossbow. That's a 27 to hit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Durrell is in range, so I think I get sneak attack on this.
You do.
So,
And Watson's in range.
damage. So that's 14 total.
Okay. So just let me. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you pull your crossbow, you load a bolt in, and then you let it fly. It slams kind of right, right in between her clavicles, right between the her collarbones, and you hear it thud in, and the flesh is almost kind of like rubbery, and it kind of like sinks in. There's a spurt of that black blood, and there's an awful stench. Doral, it's this like stagnant, this smell of like putrid algae, just splats out, and she, kind of, sinks back into herself, kind of recovering from the blow. So
You smell like beard as often as I shave.
you still have movement and bonus.
A reminder, you also need to make a save for Zone of Truth.
Oh, but I haven't been asked anything. So.
Oh no, Doral passed. Andy, yeah, sorry.
And Patry.
So that's a what's these?
Charisma.
Charisma. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Watson can't. I suppose. Yeah, Tree is. Oh, because it was cast on Andy. Yeah.
So I totally failed my charisma save, but since no one has asked me a question, that's okay.
Yeah, but it's not a repeating one. You fail once and you're stuck under Zone of Truth's effect for a minute.
So Andy, having shot her arrow, is going to move. Oh, I'm going to go with my first instinct, even though I think it's a bad idea. She's going to back onto the ladder.
Okay.
So she's not going to go far. She just wants to put a bit of distance between her and the creature.
Okay.
So probably she's. Hang on. Alt. She's probably only going to go a little way onto the ladder like that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Andy's move.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. Nope. That. Okay, I don't know why it's trying to put you above. I'll put that to the map layer. Sorry, were you in that square, or what square were you in? Okay, so you've moved. Would you just give me an acrobatics check?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'd used Alt to move to in between the squares.
Sorry.
She's only a little bit on. None of them fit, but acrobatics, okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Right, okay.
No, you're just still like aiming, and you kind of position. You're not even looking until you just position yourself. Onto the rungs.
Very Robin of Hood. Cool.
Yes. Okay.
That's Andy's turn.
Okay. Pouches.
Sweet. I checked and I was on the edge of it.
Okay.
So, natural
Thana,
one.
you know, because you know when someone has failed, so you know that Pouches and Andy have failed.
Mm-hmm.
They are obviously. It's only when if they move out of the radius of the spell, they're no longer affected. But if they move back into it, they'll have to make a save again while it's up. But you know who has and hasn't failed.
Okay. So
I am going to run here, the corner. 5, 10, 15. And then seeing this ugly thing, I am going to be like, die. And I'm going to cast my only 3rd level slot I've got left and cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
26.
Yeah, got one hit. 2
25. And 11.
hits. Okay, that one missed, but you got 2 good hits. Ooh, nice.
21 points of fire damage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I'm gonna look over to Andy and be like, "You okay out there?"
Yeah, I'm good.
Can't lie, remember.
Yeah, I'm good.
And then I'm going to just spin back around the building.
Okay. Yeah. So is that everything Pouches is doing?
Yeah, that's me.
Cool. So Pouches, he pulls up, he flicks his hands and he kind of does this, devil horn thing, and he kind of fires, 1, 2, and then fires 1 last Scorching Ray, which that one goes wide, but these 2 snake through the air like fiery serpents and strike just double, just right into the chest around the wound from the bolt, and it fire lights up Doral. You smell, smoke and charred flesh, and this kind of, you hear this sizzling, and it kind of is staggered back, and you can see flames licking up, and it's caught on fire. As it's like this creature is hissing, and just bug-eyed, staring angrily at all of you. And then it is its turn, and it's like still smoking, and through the smoke, Joel, you see its, bug eyes, and the pupils are kind of looking in different directions, and it clamps its teeth down, and that black ichor sort of oozes through its teeth and down its gums, and then reaches down to her belt and pulls a little a forked twig, and then with like a little flick of her fingers, she snaps the twig, and there is a wave, like a pulse that like the air ripples around her, and it sort of fades out for a bit, and then she's gone, just disappears, and you're left with the smell of smoke. And then
What the hell?
the night air is once again still, but for the sound of crickets and the rippling of the swamp's waters. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. And yeah, that is going to be us for tonight. We went just a little bit over, but thanks for everyone that stuck with us. And we will be back in 2 weeks on the 24th. The same time, same bat time, same bat channel. And we will see you all.
Time for you guys. It's a different time for us on this side of the world.
It is. I hate it. I hate it so much.
So for anyone in North America around here,
yeah. So
an hour earlier than it was before. So 11 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah. So
one of the few advantages of living in South Africa. No, we're changing the clocks. I mean, we might not have roads most of the time, but our clocks stay the same.
Affects you if you're doing stuff with people who do change. Like England changed after we did, so that's why we didn't change last month. But
I know, and it was great. I didn't even know we were changing until Richard, living in Canada, told me. We were doing some other stream, and he was like, "Well, you guys are, your daylight savings," and I thought he was making a joke, just a kind of you and your daylight savings time, and I can't keep up. And I was like, oh right, apparently my clocks are going forward an hour tomorrow. I didn't know that. So yeah. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. And remember, again, check out Bergen's Book of Beasts Kickstarter. It's still up for another 3 days. We can maybe push that 150,000 stretch goal. Who knows? We might make it.
Fingers crossed.
And yeah, and had a great time. I hope you all had a great time. And T, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Cloaks.
Thank you.
It's a great introduction, and we will see you all in 2 weeks' time.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.